Hello and welcome to the end of September. So I've done quite a lot this month, a lot more than I thought I was going to do. A lot of the same sort of thing, to be honest, but still done an awful lot. Before I get into the video, I just wanted to say thank you to everyone who's already donated so far, and if you haven't heard about it, if this is the first time you've come across my videos, in November, date to be confirmed, I will be shaving all my hair off in order to raise money for Macmillan, and the hair itself I'll be donating to the Little Princess Trust so they can make wigs from the hair. There will be a link down below in the description, so if you would like to make a donation, you can do down there. If you're not able to make a donation but you want to help in some way, if you can share the link or share any of my posts on social media, again there'll be a link down below for my various social medias. I'd be really grateful. So on to the things that I have made. So the first thing I want to talk about is, actually you can kind of see it just up here. I'll put a picture of it here though so you can see it properly. Is a short cardigan. It's not too bad, it fits me okay, but it falls oddly at the back. I think I want to make it into more of a wrap than like an open cardigan. At the moment I've just got like a cardigan clip on it, so I can take that off without having to make any adjustments. It kind of, I'm not 100% happy with it, but I'm not going to make any changes to it just yet because I'm not that bothered about wearing it at the moment, but I'm not 100% happy with it. The theory worked out, but it would fit better to a body shape that's different to mine, if that makes sense. So the next thing, I started in August and then I scrapped halfway through September. I basically just stopped where I was and finished it off, as it were. My idea was originally to make a big blanket with 3 strands of yarn and using a 10mm crochet hook so that it would work up quickly and I'd be finished quickly with it. But I mean, this is what I've got so far. I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do with it. I might cover a small cushion or make a small cushion and cover it. But basically, because I'm used to using much smaller crochet hooks, like my usual, like the usual things that I make are between a 3mm and a 6mm. 7 is usually the largest I use. It hurt, basically. It was just fatiguing the muscles in my hand. So I knew that I wouldn't pick it up very often, so I thought I'll just finish what I've got and figure out something I can do with it. Not sure what yet, but also if you want, if you would like a blanket this size, if you have a cat or a small dog that would like it, give me a shout and you can have it, because it's just going to sit by idly doing nothing if no one else has it. This I actually finished in August, but I finished it on the 31st of August after I'd already done my monthly roundup video. But it's just a little drawstring bag. It's kind of what I wanted to make when I was making the blue Christmassy looking bag that I showed in last month's video. This is basically the idea that I had really, or something similar to this. It's got the same dragony pattern. Is that going to focus? Yes? Yes. So it's got the same dragony pattern on, which I really like, and I am going to use that pattern for a lot more things in the future because it is so cute. But it's just a little bag. I don't know if I'll ever use it for anything, but it'll be good for something at some point. But then I basically went on a bit of a bag bender, if that makes sense. So after making that blue bag, and in my video last month I mentioned, or I was thinking out loud, it might be good to make bags out of the yarn to use as like bags for Christmas presents and things. And so I did. I basically wrote down a basic pattern that I wanted most of the bags to conform to, just so it's easier for the maths and working things out like that. And then I used a program called Floss Cross to sketch out the designs that I wanted on the bags. Mostly I looked on Pinterest and found other examples of things. I didn't come up with these patterns on my own, off the top of my own head, but the ones that I did find I may have modified slightly, but I didn't just come up with them, you know, out of nowhere. I did heavily take inspiration from elsewhere. Those aren't the only ones I'm going to make. I probably will make, in fact I know I will make a lot more, because I've got a lot of yarn to use, and I might as well use it up for something that I can give to other people, because it gets the yarn out of my house. I think my favourite one, if I can find it in the pile I've put beside me, my favourite one at the moment is this one, just because of how the colour gradient worked out so well on the pattern itself. I used a variegated yarn, so it wasn't going to always be one colour, but I think it kind of, it has a nice effect, so I quite like that one. All of them have, I did a knit bag and then I crocheted the band around the top, if that wants to focus. Crochet the band around the top, leaving gaps to thread the strings through, and then I've made them double so that when you pull them tight they will close up fully. I'm really happy with how they've turned out. So they'll be going away to be used at Christmas time, and probably for birthdays in the meantime as well, if I have gifts to give out to people. So while I was making those, I was also making other things as well. It wasn't just those one after another. I've also been making other stuff as well. One thing that I've been making quite a few of, and I need to make more of, are little glow-in-the-dark ghosts. I'll put a picture here, and also a picture of it glowing. One of my friends sent me a pattern for a similar ghost but not the same, which I then made this from the pattern of, but I got Lion brand glow in the dark cotton yarn, and the effect is really, really good, and I really like them. So I made one for myself, and I took it into work. I posted about it online. A colleague asked if she could have one, so I made one for her, and then while I was making that one, someone else noticed it and asked for one as well, and then another person, and there's another few that I need to make now as well. I had to wait for more yarn to arrive, and it has arrived now, so I've made one of them, and I need to make another 3. But I'm off work this week, so I should be able to get them finished before I go back to work, because they're all for colleagues in the office. Eventually I'll be able to make a second one for myself. The next thing I made is a pair of like slipper shoes for my mum. She asked for these a while ago. I made her a tester pair, which I will have shown in a previous video, and I've made these a little bit shorter and a little bit narrower because her feet are a bit smaller than mine in both directions. And the originals I had made sort of testing on my feet because I thought we were about the same, or not too dissimilar anyway. So I made those to fit her, and they've got liquid latex on the bottoms, on the outside of the sole, so that she doesn't slip over when she's walking around, because last thing I want to do is cause my mum an injury. After I'd made mum's, I had thought I might make myself a pair, so I still have lots of spare yarn, so I made myself this pair out of the spare yarn that I have. The half and half of the yellow and light blue, completely by accident. I just happened to get halfway through when the colour change happened in the yarn that I had on the ball. I've also put the liquid latex on the bottom of mine as well, because after I made them I thought, oh, I don't need to put the liquid latex on them, and when I was wearing them I tried standing up from the sofa and nearly fell over because they were a bit slippery. So I put the liquid latex on, and they're much better now, so I'm really pleased with how they've come out. They're nice and cosy if it's a bit chilly in the morning. The only trouble is that they pick up any little bit of dirt or hair or whatever that's on the floor, but they shake off easily, so it's not too bad. Then I made a hat. I made it out of sock weight yarn. What I did was I held 2 strands together. I just made a big slouchy beanie type thing. It doesn't really go with my hair at the moment, but I'm hoping that it will go okay with a bald head later in the winter. I had originally wanted to make a cowl scarf with it, but I have a lot of scarves already, so I probably wouldn't wear it very often, so I thought I'd make a hat out of it instead. Thankfully I made that decision when it was about the right length for a hat. I started on a handbag as well, which I've actually had to remake. This is the third time I've remade it because I'm not happy with how it was going. I had a vision for it in my head and each time it just didn't go how I wanted it to. The first iteration looks like a really big hat. Not happy with it at all. I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this because I've made granny rectangles and sewn them together. So I don't know if I'll try and make this into something else or if I'll just unpick it at some point. Or I could just use it for stuffing inside something if I make a cushion. And the last thing I made is a little card holder. So this, and I'm not in danger of showing you any of my personal details, but it's just a little card holder to put all my cards and things in. That's my National Trust membership. Because until I made this, all of my cards lived in this purse, and when I made this purse it was to put cash in, not to put cards in, so it's not entirely the right size for cards, and I thought I'd just make a quick and easy little card holder. It's just a granny square that I then folded up and sewn envelope style and then put a thing on it to tie round. Doesn't need to be incredibly secure or fancy because it's just to go in my handbag so that I've got my cards in one place without them swimming around all over the place. If you have any questions or anything, please either leave a comment or send me a message. All the links to my social medias will be down below, as well as the link to the Just Giving page. If you are able to donate or share or do both, I will be eternally grateful. I don't have a specific date for the shaving just yet, but once I do, I will post that on social media, so if you want to find out when that is, then you can follow me on wherever you do social media. And when I do it, it should be live streamed in theory, so you should be able to watch it being done if you want to. So yeah, thank you for joining me and I'll see you again next time.